Okay, part 2, because there are other turn-based RPGs I didn't mention. And thanks to all the freaking naysayers in the comments. So first off, I mentioned this one I left a comment in that video, Baldur's Gate 3. That's one turn-based fanboys would love to mention. 15 mil. That is huge. But look at Hogwarts Legacy, which dropped in the same year, and it was screwed over at the Video Game Awards of that year. Total sales of 34 mil, twice the amount as Baldur's Gate 3, and people cannot say Hogwarts Legacy relied on nostalgia for the franchise because it pulled a KOTOR. Knights of the Old Republic. I didn't mention that one. I got KOTOR too, but unfortunately the case is one of the default GameStop cases. Remember those? And that game also had that hybrid turn-based system. No wonder I like those hybrid systems more, because at least you're freaking moving. Anyway, Knights of the Old Republic did the same thing of going to an era that was familiar enough, because at the time, people were hating the prequels. Bashing on them. The game didn't have Luke, Obi-Wan, Yoda, etc. Hogwarts Legacy didn't have any of the iconic characters. No Harry, no Dumbledore, no Sirius Black, none of them, and not even with just using the actor's likeness and having a different voice actor. They didn't do that. Not to mention the gameplay was new. It wasn't the exact same from the old movie license games that were actually good. Up to the last one. Okay, so there was a risk most wouldn't have liked that different style of gameplay. And yet it sold so freaking much. Let's be real, the only reason Baldur's Gate 3 won the VGAs in 2023 was because Hogwarts Legacy wasn't there. And the devs, Avalanche Software, they've been around, but most of their work were just ports. Or some freaking sports games, some licensed games, even the Disney Infinity games. But Hogwarts Legacy, that is their first big hit. Anyway, back to KOTOR, their sales. The first one took 3 years to sell, 3 mil. And the second one, man, those total sales after 3 years dropped to around 1.2 mil. Another example, Balatro, that's another one, another recent turn-based RPG a lot of people want to bring up. It sold 500k copies in its first 10 days. Maybe RPG isn't the right word, but yeah, it sold so freaking little in a short time. And the next example is a huge one, Bravely Default, which is from Square. First off, people complain that they say they want Square to go back, but they went back with Bravely Default. Yet those games, which I could have sworn had so much praise, sold like crap. The first game alone, it was on the 3DS, which still has a huge freaking installed base. Yet the sales are so little. And for the total games, the total sales, 3 mil in 2021. After 9 years, the first Bravely Default came out in 2012. This one is the slowest selling turn-based RPG out of all the games I've mentioned, and yet the turn-based fanboys defend this. They want to say turn-based isn't dead when these slow-ass sales prove otherwise. Especially Bravely Default, which also further proves Square right. They damn well don't need to go back. When they gave y'all turn-based Final Fantasy fanboys new turn-based games, a whole other series. But where are y'all? Again, they put their money where their mouths were. But they damn well weren't enough because turn-based is niche and dead. And these people also think AAA companies will take note that Expedition 33 will change the landscape. Most of these companies didn't even take notes from Baldur's Gate 3. And that sold like crazy. They will not take notes from a niche turn-based RPG. Here's one more example of the modern XCOM games. Now for them, I really had to dig for these two on VG charts. Looking up their sales numbers isn't so easy. The first one, Enemy Unknown, its total sales are around 1.9 mil. And XCOM 2, their total sales are 810k. Now the game was later released on the Switch, but I can't find their sales anywhere. So let's give a quick estimate, maybe 1 mil or 900k. Either way, it's no freaking wonder an XCOM 3 never got made. The majority of gamers do not and never will buy turn-based games. And one more thing. About the VGAs, there is a pattern on which games win now. If y'all haven't noticed, go check. Sometimes mainstream games, the ones the majority are actually playing, win. Other times, niche games, ones that are bought by a freaking minority, get the win. This year may be a niche freaking game, but because of this shit, I am rooting for the next Elden Ring now. This mess really got me teaming up with my worst enemy. Now would I buy it? No, I do not want to go back to that FromSoft LO. But, oh man, god damn it. I just might. This doesn't give me a new perspective on Souls. The one thing I give FromSoft is that the Souls games are real-time combat. And grinding XP doesn't take that long anyway. Just grind a lot in the first area, and boost item discovery a little bit to get the weapon upgrade drop sooner. Just grind up, let's say, 100k souls early on. I did that with Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3. In fact, let me show this old clip. That fight was just a minute long. I think I was at level 40 at that point. And that axe was at +5. Damn, it got me thinking, okay, if I do get the next Elden Ring, I gotta make a video like that. What early grinding gets you? Or something like, what, you want fun or do you want masochism? We'll see, I don't know. Maybe a trailer gotta show something really interesting. And if I do buy that game, that means a rematch with the Nameless King. And the King of the Storm. If I buy this, that beef is not squashed. Not by a long shot. FromSoft or why God of War 4 and 5 had those Valkyrie and Berserker fights, which were just Dark Souls bosses.